iteration of a car that I've always kind of lusted after, and that's the Honda Civic Type R. It started its life as one of these, super fun hot hatchbacks, and it was the sister car to the legendary Honda Integra Type R. Over the years and through the generations, the Civic and its Type R variant has grown and grown and grown some more. What started as a hot hatch is now a, somewhat warm sedan. The Civic Type R went from one of the best hot hatches ever to a very competent front-wheel drive sedan. While Honda's engineers have gone to great lengths to make sure that this is an exciting vehicle, what do you think of this direction that they've taken? Let me know in the comments down below. Would you like to see a 3-door hatch or even maybe a coupe Type R again? Would you want more doors because you need it to be your daily driver? Maybe you've got a family. Maybe you've got a bunch of friends. All right, let's dive into the latest evolution of this legendary Type R. All right, it's a sedan. I'm over it. I really want to just dig into the details here. The last Civic Type R looked like what would happen if a Gundam had a torrid affair with an octopus and then got dressed in the dark. It's a 4-door plus hatch. The body was inherited from, the lesser Civics and then turned up to 11, just like the Type Rs of yore. Where the last one really got on my nerves was actually the visuals. The last Type R really did look like it was just a part spin special. From the awful aesthetic of that triple-tipped small, big, small exhaust to the where the hell did they steal this spoiler from spoiler. All these things looked like they were just parts stolen from different cars. Now, on the newer car, I do think that the wing could be a little bit more cleanly resolved. The aluminum standoffs or supports make it look like it's an aftermarket part rather than something from an OEM. Unless you're Porsche and you're making a 911 GT2 or GT3 RS, you can get away with it then. But on something a little bit more humble, a little offering from Honda, it, still looks a little out of place. Now, I'm not gonna lie, this new take on the R looks a hell of a lot better than the old one did. It's much more sorted, it's tidy, and it results in what could be described as a tamer look overall, but I do love it. Maybe it's because, it's the effect of the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. The original Sonic with the human teeth, that was last generation Type R. And then this is the final movie edition Sonic. It's polished, it's refined, and dare I say, it harkens back to the original EK9 Civic R. From the back, the hatch and the bumper look really great. I do hate that they stuck with the tri-tip exhaust. I mean, for me, that would be my very first aftermarket upgrade. Goodbye to that abomination. I know that it functions, but aesthetically, it looks dumb. Now, when it comes to the side profile, again, very nicely resolved. They got rid of that big sort of fender vent gash thing and replaced it with something a little bit more in keeping with the Type R aesthetic. The front now reminds me again of those Type Rs of old. The front air inlet, the graphic of the headlights and the front grille, it all looks really tight and well resolved, and it seems like a greatest hits album for the Civic Type R. Unfortunately and stubbornly, they stuck onto this more usable everyday sedan. This is fine. Now, if you're digging on this, please drop us a like, poke on the subscribe button, give us a share, help us grow. I know that you guys are into these car reviews because it's showing in the analytics. All right, now the press car that they're showing off right now is in that championship white that everybody knows with the big red H's and the Type R badging that we know and love. The interior is actually really well appointed. It's still a Civic, but they've done everything they could, pulled out all the stops, right down to the shift knob on the manual to the, Civic Type R emblazoned bright red seats. If you're looking in the gauge cluster, you see a G meter in the center of the speedometer. There's a stopwatch in the middle of the tach. This is the type of car that is going to get a lot of speeding tickets. Now let's get down to, the going and the stopping. There's a big set of bright red Brembos holding on to some brakes inside of a set of 19-inch glossy black wheels. They're wrapped in Michelin Pilot Sports. You know, it's a good setup. The outgoing Type R was on 20s, and you know, it looked like there was a kid who was setting up the wheel and tire package who's got their hands on, you know, a hotted up hatchback. But what's on here now are 265 3019s for the tires. That's going to be an amazing contact patch for this car to put down a hell of a lot of power coming out of that turbocharged 2-liter. Now, as with the Acura Integra reboot, it's safe to say that Honda is probably going to be under-promising and over-delivering on the horsepower. While the outgoing Type R was, you know, spinning the rollers with a claimed 306 horsepower, Honda says that this is the most powerful Civic Type R ever and just leaves it at that. So you know that it's probably well north of 306. Now, where the last car looked like Honda was really trying to channel their inner WRX from Subaru, this car definitely looks more uniquely Honda. And I say that with love this time because over the last decade, I've just been seething whenever I would see something with a Honda or an Acura badge on it. They were just fugly designs. They butchered their lineup with nasty, nasty, nasty design languages. But this Type R looks really great. It looks really well sorted. That brings us to kind of the last sticking point. The cost of the car is something that we have to consider. In your standard Ameridollars, your US funds, the last one was supposed to clock in at around 38 to 40,000. But then dealers started making markups and collectors started grabbing onto them, and it really spiked the price north. With this model sure to be cooler, faster, and all around better, you can bet that it's going to be a fight to get your hands on one. Pre-orders are going to probably sell out immediately, and then the secondary market is going to just take off. These things probably will sell for $50,000, $60,000, $70,000. I know here in Canada, it is very hard to get your hands on one. All right, everybody, I could go on all day about these hot hatches, Hondas, racing, but for now, I think we're going to have to wrap this one up. This is our second episode of the car analysis, and some people definitely have some opinions on my opinion. Whether you agree, disagree, love it, or hate it, let me know in the comments, and have an awesome day, everybody.